Madam. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this very impromptu live show where we talk about marketing. If everyone just wants to go in a circle and you can say your channel and maybe a little bit about yourself.
I'm Hannah Blackwell, and I have a booktube channel where I talk about romance and fantasy, mostly, I would say. I do read some other things, but I feel like I mostly talk about and read fantasy and romance. I have a bookstagram and co-hosting a readathon this August, the romance readathon. If y'all are interested in that, that was the amazing creation of Maggie from Maggie's Books and Stuff. That's the only thing I can think of coming up. Oh, and a book club. That's new too. Sorry.
No,
Held by
that's okay.
Romance Book Club, which is a fantasy book club.
Yeah. Okay, hi. My name's Carrie. I am Book for Romance. I'm primarily on IG now, but I do have a booktube channel that I throw up videos once in a blue moon. I am primarily romance, but I do like fantasy. I like YA. I'm reading a lot more YA now, and I love historical. So I'd say those are kind of my genres. And yeah.
Very nice.
My name is Tori. My channel is Novel Life. On Instagram, it's Live a Novel Life. Why I did two separate, I don't know, but I did, whatever. I primarily read romance. Anything romance, I'm up for. And I just announced on Instagram that I'm doing a read-along for the Magnolia Parks thing. Magnolia Parks universe. That's what I was posting when I was on there. We said 6 p.m. and I was like, oh shit, I have a live show at the same time. Anyway, but yeah, that's all I got going on.
At least you got the time right.
Well, I am Jess from Honest Fiction. I mostly read fantasy romance, contemporary romance, some dark romance. And yeah, it is also 90 degrees in my house, so I apologize for anyone hearing a fan. That is why. But we decided to do this just to talk about the marketing. And I think this kind of all started with Sarah J. Maas's recent announcement that she's going to be doing 5 bonus chapters. So what is your feelings? I don't know if you guys want to go in a circle or how you want to do it, or if you just want to say what you feel.
I'll go last.
Okay. I'll go first. I have to admit, like, when I first saw the 5 books, I was kind of thrown a little bit because I understand author putting special editions, and I don't know the publisher side of it. So that's the one side I really don't know if they're putting special rights to these individuals of like Walmart or Target or Barnes and Nobles, and each one of these are like saying to the publisher, we want our own thing. Like we don't want what Barnes and Nobles has. We don't want what Target has. I guess my question to the whole like publisher or like the general community is like, why so many special editions? Like if you're going to have special editions, why not pick either Barnes and Nobles and Walmart or Target and the Books a Million? Why are we picking 5? I don't know. Like, and maybe that's just a personal thing, but maybe now that she has like a million people following her, she needed all the special editions. I don't know. I just feel like it's definitely interesting to have so many is my thing.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I feel like a lot of authors have been doing this like bonus chapter thing for like certain retailers for like a while now. I feel like when I was younger they did that with some like YA books. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember them doing that. And it's one of those things where it's like everyone has their particular retailer that they love to go to. So like I don't get any of my books from Walmart or Target, rarely ever. So I think it's more of a let's broaden the audience because Sarah J. Maas has so many fans that, they're going to pick their favorite characters and they're going to go to that retailer and they're going to buy that one book that has the bonus chapters for those particular characters. So I kind of see why they do it, but at the end of the day, I think it's a cash grab because if you're a fan of the series, then or of Sarah J. Maas in general, you're going to want to read every single one of those chapters. and I'm not going to go buy them. I will go sit in the store and read them really quickly, but I'm not going to go buy them. That's pointless for me to do, especially for like the chapters. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't understand like what other purpose other than trying to broaden the audience and like get people to go to certain retailers. That's the only thing I can think of why they would do that.
Sorry, go ahead. I
was talking to a few people, and I did notice that the only place, or not the only place, but one of the main places that's not mentioned is Amazon. So I almost feel like that might have been intentional to be like, hey, we're not as cheap as Amazon, but you're getting this bonus content if you shop Indie, if you shop Walmart, Target, etc. Mm-hmm. So I know I talked to Jen from Book Refuge, and then my husband also brought it up, like, and I think that is definitely a possibility. Like, that could be why.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of reasons why this could be happening. I think in general, I feel like this happens with every sector out there in capitalism. You'll watch capitalism literally just basically push the boundaries as far as possible over time with every new industry. And I feel like special editions industry has recently really been expanding and becoming so much of a thing. And I think Book Talk, like making reading a lot more popular again for younger people who have, I guess, I wouldn't say like they don't have as much money, but they have more disposable income, right? Like they spend most of their cash or a lot of them on what they want. And so there's a lot of people buying special editions. And so I feel like this is just natural in a way with capitalism, but at the same time, like that doesn't make it right, you know? So I have mixed feelings. I think that there's a lot of reasons or a lot of potential reasons for why they chose to do this. I think what y'all were saying about maybe pushing Amazon out or maybe getting people to pick their characters and go into that store. Was it the stores? Was it the publishers? Was it the author? I don't think it was the author, but she certainly, I'm sure she could have pushed a say, but she also does make a lot of money from this. But yeah, I think in general, the overarching reason that feeds into all of those possible reasons is just capitalism. It's a new market, and that's just what happens with capitalism, is it's going to push the boundaries.
Well, that's the thing, like with special editions, I feel like this isn't a special edition thing. Like the covers aren't changing. It's literally the same book minus 20 or 30 pages for an epilogue, depending on even how long that's going to be. So, I mean, I was looking at the list of like Barnes & Noble has Bryce and Hunt, Books A Million has Ember and Randall. Indie bookstores is Bryce and Danica, Target is Rune and Lydia, and Walmart is Bryce, Nesta, and Asriel. And I feel like, I mean, I've never shopped at Walmart for books other than like when I was younger. So I feel like Asriel being a big character, they're going to want, oh, what is this bonus scene from Asriel's point of view? You know what I mean? Like, what is that doing? So I don't know. I just feel like it'd be different if they offered different editions with a different cover.
Would you guys prefer that if they all had different covers? Like, would that be more of a selling point?
Well, yeah, because I collect special editions. So if you're going to give me a bonus chapter, I'm not going to go buy the same book again to read that bonus chapter. That's not going to happen. I'm not spending $30+ on the same book with the same cover and everything minus the 20 or 30 pages. If it's a different edition, like Anna Wong's been doing this with her, like with Bloom publishing it, certain books will have a different cover and you can, pick which one, or you can buy both. Like, I feel like that's more valuable as a collector of special editions. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just
yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I completely agree with this. And I agree with what Nose in a Book said too. I don't know if I'm buying all 5. I know I already pre-ordered 2, the one from Walmart and then one from Barnes & Noble. But I think it's insane to ask people to buy 5 of the same exact.
Here's the problem, though. We've played this game with Sarah before.
And I didn't realize that.
Yeah, with the Court of Silver Flames or whatever,
Yep.
or book 5. I own 3 of those copies of the same book. I've already played this game with her, and I'm just like, at this point in time, I did purchase 2 editions. One was the Barnes & Noble's edition because it had like the electronic signature. And then one was the Walmart edition because I wanted, like you said, Asriel's point of view. But put those two together, that's $50. So like if you're going to buy all the editions, you're spending well over $100 for the same book. So I'm going to bounce off of what Tori said, where the publisher should have changed those covers, put special graphics in there, something to make it a little bit different, to be like, hey, because we do own multiple copies of the same book. But is it the same book though? Or can I like display it in different areas and someone walking into my house doesn't know they're the same book? It just looks cool. Like at that point in time, you can use it as like what is it? Like a decorative piece in your house more than like just having 5 of the same editions and you're kind of stuck because you know, you want to read the 5th chapter, but you don't want to like go and be like, I purchased this and then return it or something. And you know, people are going to do that. They're going to purchase it, read the chapter and return it. And I'm like, okay, so what kind of system are we developing here? And I'm not saying I'm doing that, but I know other people might, you know?
And I know, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't realize that Sarah J. Maas had been doing this for a while. So I knew she did it with A Court of Silver Flames, but apparently she did this with Throne of Glass when that was originally coming out. I had no idea because I didn't read that while it was being released. But I guess she had 3 different bonus chapters for one of the books. And then another one had 2. So this is like a common thing she does.
See, something she did with A Court of Thorns. No. Sorry, the other one. Throne of Glass. She did that freaking bind up of all 5 of those stories. Now, Tiffany from Neverland Pixies or TikTok's pages, she has 2. She said what would have been more beneficial and maybe more like, I don't know, budget friendly for us, and she can make money off of it, is put those bind ups together and release that as like a different book. But like, here's the thing, like that takes marketing time, whatever. And I just don't know what their thought processes are, because it's more than just Sarah making these decisions.
Yeah, like it's one of those things when you go through a traditional publisher, I feel like it doesn't really matter which one it is. Who is she with? Bloomsbury?
The Books A Million, or is that just who she's affiliated with?
Whoever the publisher.
I think it's Blooms. You're right, it's Blooms.
Yeah, like they obviously are taking care of all of her marketing. That's one of the big things for an author, is to sign with a traditional publisher, is for them to take care of all their marketing and all those things. And yes, she probably has a decision. I don't think she really thinks of it this way. Like I personally think, I don't think it's SJM's decision to do this. I really think it's the publisher, because they know how big of a following she has, and most people are going to go out. The people who have that cash to spend, they're going to go buy every single one of those editions. And I mean, like, if you can, that's great. You can do it. I'm not going to do it. I will go sit in Walmart and I will read the bonus chapter. Like, I can't do that, but I do want to know all the content. If she wants to do something else, she should have sold a bind up of all of those point of views, put a special edition cover on it or something simplistic, and sold it for extra money. But that's why I think it's a way to spread out the audience, to get it to different retailers so they all make money. So not one person is monopolizing everything and getting, Barnes and Noble isn't getting all of the money for this. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty much what they're doing.
Right.
And I do feel like if the covers, like you guys were saying, were a little bit different, if there was a little bit more offered, it'd be a little bit more ethical, right? Because you're basically getting what you're paying for, which is $100 worth of books. But at the same time, I know Jen has a good point. Number one, you don't have to buy the book. You just don't have to. And I think that on her, she had a live the other day, and she was talking about how apparently the like bonus content for one of her recent books, I don't know if it was Silver Flames or not, but it ended up on like Pinterest and stuff like that. It's like got out all over the place. So, you know, I don't know. I haven't even pre-ordered my book yet. I'm going to, I guess, but I have to wonder, like thinking about this now, like was there anything similar with like Harry Potter? Because I know Harry Potter was probably bigger even than.
I don't think so, because I was going to those like midnight launch parties, and I don't think there was anything like.
Because I remember going to the like midnight release.
Yeah.
I feel like it used to be a Books a Million and Barnes. That's the two near me. I remember when I was younger, like when I was in high school, I would read a lot of like YA romance, like Twilight, Hunger Games, those kind of things. They started doing the bonus chapter, but it was like one. So like you can get Barnes and Noble is just the original, and then like another retailer would have like a bonus chapter of like one or two of the characters. But it wasn't like 6 different options to where you had to go to 6 different places. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if like you want people to purchase indie more, then for indie booksellers, offer that they only have a digital signature for their books. Don't put these different points of views, like epilogue chapters or whatever you want to call it, in all of these separate books. So I feel like that's not fair. Like I would purchase from an indie bookstore if I could get her having a digital signature. I'd do that over these bonus epilogues, because it's not like I can walk into the store, read that, and leave. Like, what am I getting? You know what I mean? To me, it feels like weird. Like, I'm just kind of like, this is kind of annoying. That's how I feel about it. And I think that this isn't the way to go with marketing. I feel like your book, or trying to push people out from Amazon. Just like, I don't know. I just do something like have Barnes and Noble have their exclusive edition, like with a different cover, or the dust jacket's the same, but on the inside of the hardcover, it's something different. You know, like offer something more value of just the point of view chapters that people can't just take a picture of and post it online, because then that defeats the purpose. Like, what are you getting? What am I paying $30 for a book for? I need something different.
Right. And then my question is why, like you had said, why so many? Why couldn't we get the same bonus chapter in the 5 special editions? I mean, someone negotiate that for her so I get you're spreading the wealth, but then it's like you don't have to feel like you have to get 5 different books. You're like, oh, I could just purchase from Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, or not Amazon, Walmart, Target. You know what I mean? Like you could purchase from one place. Plus, with her million of followers, they will sell, but you don't have to feel like you're getting 2 or 3 books. I feel like that's very intentional, and I don't love that feeling, you know?
Yeah. I wish we had like an inside to book, like a traditional publisher and marketing, like pick their brain type of a thing. Because if you think about it, Walmart is not necessarily a competitor in books as Barnes and Noble. So what is the point of offering a bonus chapter to people at Walmart? Like,
I also wonder how they picked who got what chapter, because there's obviously some of those pairings that a lot of people are going to go. I know a lot of people ordered from Walmart because it's Azrael. So
yeah, exactly. That's right.
I wonder how that was decided, if Sarah J. Maas like played a part there, or if it was like completely the publishers.
I think what it usually is that if they have to agree to sell your book in their store, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, this is very minimal information that I have that I've heard. So it's mostly just like, oh, Walmart has to have someone to advocate for them to be like, we want people, if you want to sell this book in this store, you need to give us something. And so they were like, oh shit, what can we do to spread it out? Oh, we're going to have, I don't know, 12 different people's points of view and split that up over 6 different things. It to me does not make sense. I really hope they do not do this anymore, because it's literally, there's no benefit to the reader. It's just going to hurt the publisher, because they think, oh, we're going to have all these people go buy it. No, people are going to take pictures of that, and it's going to circulate TikTok. And because I mean, that's, I'm being 100% honest. People are going to do that.
Yeah.
And so she's not even going to make the money that they think they're going to make.
Well, they're promoting negative behavior, because honestly, at the end of the day, like someone who can't afford 5 editions of this book, why should they miss out on that? Because they can't go spend hundreds of dollars on that, and somebody as like a Robin Hood is gonna go and take the last chapters and post that for them. And I consider it a Robin Hood thing, because they can't afford that. Why should they miss out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in a lot of these like negotiations and everything, because what I imagine is this was basically just a clusterfuck of a whole bunch of very large, greedy companies trying to see how much they could get out of each other in the process. I guarantee no one was thinking of the consumer in the process. Like I said, I feel like this is just what happens in industries eventually. And I think that's where we're at. I honestly think it's gonna happen again, because the thing is, I mean, we look at the comments, you know, and a lot of us, I know, have a lot of friends have bought or pre-ordered like multiple copies of these books, and so I think it's going to be a success for them. I think it will happen again, and I honestly see this being more popular in the future. I don't agree with it, but it's gonna get more popular.
I also, have you guys noticed that special editions, just in general, like they're everywhere now? I feel like we didn't used to have so many special editions of the same book, where they're not even really feeling that special. Like some special editions are doing very minor changes.
I don't personally buy special editions except for like leather bound of certain like classics or collections or mythologies and things like that. I don't like those are my special editions, or like if it's like a dear book to me, like a super dear book to me, like, you know, I have like the illustrated version of The Ocean at the End of the Lane. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do the special edition boxes or anything like that. But
this is actually really interesting what April was saying with the video game world, because my husband plays a lot of games, and he was telling me too that now sometimes a game will be, I think the new Diablo game that came out was like X amount of money, and you had to buy all of this other stuff on top of it to get certain things and stuff like that. So I feel like even in the video game industry, they're now trying to get as much stuff as possible. Like if you think about like Fortnite, when that came out, it was a free game, I think, and then they have made so much money based on like the costumes and the, you know, how many times has my brother been like, Mom, Dad, can you give me this? Like, just because I want all this money so I can buy all this extra stuff to look cool. You know what I mean? They've probably made more money than just spending $60 on the game once. So
the Harry Potter game also did that with like special editions, where if you pre-ordered it, you got extra stuff.
I'm a sucker for special.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm a sucker for special editions. So if I really love a book, I'll go buy 3 of them. Like I am really a sucker for special editions, especially if I love it. But the problem is like some of my favorite authors, I don't love the original covers. So when it comes out in a great special edition, I'm like trying to get there as fast as possible. And if I don't get it at that time, you know what's going to happen on the resale market of it being $1,000, and then it's out of my grasp. There's just no way at that point.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where special edition has to be special in the way that the cover designer is putting X amount of work into it. I don't really care about a special edition with special content like the bonus chapters. I don't care about that. That does not, as a collector of books, that is not why I collect special editions. I collect special editions for the artistry that's on the cover of the book, the design, the style, hardback, paperback, you know, all of those different things. So I don't know, like I won't pay out. Like I want the Fourth Wing special edition, the one that you have, because I missed out on it. And I refuse to pay $1,000. Like I will be okay with missing out on that. But there's some people that will pay that much for it. And I mean, that's okay. That's their money. Spend it how you want. Like I'm not one to say like what you should do with your money. But when you have a company, this case, the traditional publisher, that's forcing people to spend money that maybe they don't have because they're a fan of it. Like what does the library copies get? Someone said the audiobook gets nothing. What is the audio going to get? Like a lot of people listen audio. I guarantee you I'm going to buy the new Crescent City and I'm going to listen to it on audio.
Same.
So I'll own 3 copies because you have to count the 2 physical copies and the 1 audio. So now I own 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just one of those things to me where it's like, if you're trying to get money, okay, audiobooks are the way to go. Obviously she's been doing audiobooks simultaneous releasing for a while, I think.
Yes.
Course Over Flames was like that too. And I'm just like, then you need to offer maybe the POV of one of those people or all of them in the audiobook. More people would buy that audiobook and use a credit or pre-order it or whatever. I would do that. If you offered all 6 of these extra chapters in the audiobook, for an extra $10, I'll buy it. Why not? Like, I mean, I'm already going to buy it, but you know what I mean?
Right. But here's the thing too, is Sarah's famous for doing an audio, then going to graphic audio and doing that audio. And now I own 2 audios of the same audio. So like, I feel like this is a very big thing with Sarah J. Maas, which just hurts me because she's my favorite author. But like, I feel like
she's a shrewd businesswoman. Like
she really is. And it's sad because I'm like, I feel like I'm not getting, I know what I'm getting, so I'm not getting taken advantage of, but like still it just doesn't sit right with me though.
I think I mean, in my head, I'm kind of like thinking, you know, with phones recently, like with iPhone, like when they changed it to where you have to now buy the extra thing to be able to charge your phone because they only have 1 hole now, like basically trying to create problems that don't exist so that they can solve a problem for you. Let's split up part of the book, even though it's additional chapters. Let's split it up amongst multiple stories. It's just, I mean, think outside the box and see how much possible money we can make from this.
I think the way they did it though was each one of those stores wanted something different. So like it wasn't the fact like they were like, I want my own Walmart special edition and I want my own Barnes and Noble special edition. So I think that was in the contract. I'm assuming. Obviously I didn't see these contracts, but that was the assumption I've made. If someone knows different, put it down in the comments.
It would have been really interesting to be able to hear those negotiations and 100%. Stuff.
And part of me wants to like pick Sarah J. Maas's brain. Like, how much did she have a say in this? Did she know? Even if they said they were going to do that and she said no, does she really have a choice? It might be in her contract where it's like you signed over all of your marketing rights, so you can't really have a say in anything. I wonder if it's something like that, or maybe she just doesn't care. But at the same time, if she's putting 20 or 30 pages of all these bonus chapters, that's 6. Listen, that could go to you writing that next book, okay? Like, we need to get them out quicker than these like 2-year things. Like, I don't care.
I totally agree.
I don't care about the extra POVs as much as I like go sit down and write like all that 150 pages for the next book. Don't put it in bonus chapters because she has to write that. That's extra stuff she has to write.
I feel like she had to have had, like, I don't think it was 100% her, but I feel like she would have had to have some part in it because this requires her to write more content. So, and because this is something that specifically happens a lot with her stuff. But like I said, I don't necessarily, I don't agree with it because I don't agree with the concept of it. But at the same time, like, she's a shrewd businesswoman. She's a kick butt. Like, I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to get the money that I want. And I can't, I don't know, in a way, like, I'm also like, I can't fault her for that because everyone else is doing the same thing. I mean, that's the society we live in, but it also kind of sucks. I mean, but we can't really, I mean, I'm not going to get into like a capitalism and like political discussion here, so.
See, my biggest thing is, can someone tell me another author who's done this before? That's kind of where I'm at. Like, another author who's went to 5 different people, 5 different companies, given 5 different bonus chapters. I feel like Sarah knows how big she is. I feel like she knows she can get away with it. Where it's like, I don't even think like Brandon Sanderson or Colleen Hoover has ever done that before. And they're just as big as she is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm making those assumptions too, but I don't know. Can someone, if someone
I'm looking it up right now while we're doing this.
I'm trying to look at my shelves and think of like who is currently as big as Sarah J. Maas.
But real quick,
that's something it's hard to compare like Harry Potter to her because that was before, not now. So like they're doing things differently now. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't Sarah J. Maas done with book boxes though? So is she back to releasing special editions? Because she took a really big break after a bad experience with the one. So I always kind of assume she's not doing special editions, and then they announced those Crescent City ones, and I was like shocked.
I don't know.
Well, like the only thing I can think of is maybe Brandon Sanderson, but I feel like Brandon Sanderson, he does his own thing. So I feel like now he has, what is it, his Kickstarter thing? Like
he has the Kickstarter.
He's got his own publishing, Dragon's Tail Publishing.
Which is super freaking cool. I think that's really cool that he's doing that. And he's doing it in his own way. He doesn't have to answer to any publisher if he doesn't want to. He's funding it himself or like crowdfunding it or whatever. But I think instead of Sarah J. Maas doing that herself, she's just like, well, I'll just have the publishers take care of it. They can negotiate all the retailers who they want, what they want. And I'm just like, like even someone I think put in the comments, even on Amazon, for you to have a like discrete edition, sometimes you have to change the content on Amazon. So you have to add extra chapters anyway, on top of adding like the different covers, because a lot of authors are having trouble with that. So, I mean, like, as much as we can like hate on Amazon, that's totally fine. At least it's not putting up multiple editions of the same book with the same thing in it with a different cover. It's like you have to change the inside somehow. The content has to be different.
I agree with this point that Judgin has made. Technically, we don't have to buy the books, but still.
Right, but like anybody else who's reading a book, they don't want to feel like they're gonna miss out on something. Like, you literally are talking to readers. So if you put like bonus content in something, they're gonna want to know what's coming next. So it's like that's not really a fairness. I
And
don't
I
feel like
think,
that's fair.
and I think too, like going off of that, like I don't know if this is what they were thinking, but like it could be, oh, people are gonna pick their favorite character and only go by that point of view. But with Sarah J. Maas, like even in all of her series, you love all of the characters. There is not one person I know that's like, nope, this person's only my favorite. Like you do have multiples. It might not be all of them, but you have like multiples of them. So it's like, okay, well, as a fan of not only Crescent City, but Sarah J. Maas in general, I want to read everything that she writes, including these bonus Bloomsbury Publishing. Thank you. But it's just one of those things where, like, I get it kind of, but it's like, wrong idea, because if you knew Sarah J. Maas, you know how big she is, you know that her fans want everything that she writes, not just one thing. So
I think some publishers knew that too, though, because it's kind of their job to know that.
You would think, but sometimes some of these covers that they're starting to come out with, some of these traditional like publishers with the cartoon for romance, I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Like, do you really know your consumer? Because like half of these people don't like these cartoon covers. So part of me is like, I agree, but like 50% is like, well, how much do they really know, or just do they not care?
It's funny because when when the cartoon covers came out, I was like, oh, these are so cute. But now we're being bombarded with them, and I'm like, I'm 41 years old. I turned 41 yesterday. Like literally, like I can't deal with these cartoon covers anymore. So I was just like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I kind of kept it on the down low this year.
I
didn't even know that. I'm like, what the hell, Gary?
I kind of kept it low key. That's why I was going to the Barbie movie and everything. But like, I just wanted to be like, you know. But anyway, yeah. So I'm kind of like 41. I'm over the cartoon covers. Like, I'm just like,
I think they were just overdone. I'm so behind on comments. I didn't realize how many we were getting, but I did want to touch on this, that Bloomsbury completely spoiled that Crescent City 2 for anyone that hadn't read it. What do you guys feel about that? Like,
wait, Bloom did? Like the actual?
I thought it was Bloom.
I'm just asking. I didn't know.
Oh, no.
Is it just announcing who the point of views are?
No, besides announcing who the point of views, the announcement of the 5 editions, I think it was on TikTok and Instagram, started with the last line of Crescent City 2. Like, it said the last line and then it did it. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I remember I was at work when I saw it. I was like, I can't believe they just did that. So a lot of people were spoiled.
Wow. Nope. I didn't realize that. I guess I didn't see that. I thought it was just with different points of view.
No, they actually started with the last line. So, like, how long do you guys feel what's the appropriate amount of length? Because technically CC2 did come out about a year ago.
I think, go ahead, Tori.
Go ahead. You go ahead, Carrie.
Honestly, I think never. Like, there's never a time where I'm sorry, if there was a book 10 years ago and someone felt like dropping a spoiler that I was about to read, I'd be pissed.
Okay, but there's a difference with the spoiler of...
But like Hunger Games, Twilight, Divergent, like those things we talk about, the big spoilers. But it's
talk about them because we're trying to save people from not reading them. Like, there's a difference. Nobody out there should be reading Divergent ever, okay? That should never happen.
But it's one of those things, that's a huge spoiler. Like, that is a game changer with a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? And I think that is something that should be talked about 10 years from now. I think that's something, okay, like, oh my God, can you believe this happened? Like, can you believe when SJM did this? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how we can talk about it in 10 years, but it's only a year ago. And I know some friends that just read Crescent City 2 this year. You know what I mean?
I did that this year.
And if they would have read it a month from now, or like after this, was that whole thing was published, then what's the point of reading the whole book?
Also, you have to keep in mind, I know a lot of people that do not read the series until the final book comes out.
Yeah.
So to spoil the series before the 3rd book is out is a huge, because like there's people pre-ordering that 3rd book and then gonna like binge the series, and now they've been spoiled for it. So
yeah,
that's a whole issue. I also did one, because I just thought of this, because I ordered the what is that called? Like, I paid the $200 for the Brandon Sanderson, the 4 books.
Oh,
The
Kickstarter.
yeah.
Kickstarter? Yeah.
So, but here's the thing though, with that, and now I know that's his own publishing company, but when he got like over a certain amount, he was like, oh my gosh, like I kept getting emails. He was like, we have made so much from this. Now we're going to offer you this for the special editions. Now we can give a color of ink. And so then we were getting, each book has, one book has like blue ink accents, one has green, like, because that costs a lot of money. One of them even has 2. And then eventually it became like, now I've gotten the boxes. And he's like, well, because there was swag and then only book. You got swag and book, or you got the book. And I bought the book only one. And then it became like, well, we're going to start sending swag to the people that bought the book only one. So I'm getting a bookmark in there every time. It's a really, really nice bookmark, and like stickers and pins. So when he made extra money, and every time he's like, oh my gosh, we made this much, I'm going to give that back to the consumer and make sure, fine, then they are getting an even better product. Now, like I said, that is his production company.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously we know, and he knows we know, that he has full control over this. So like, obviously if he kept that all, not that I think anyone would think negatively about him for having a super successful campaign, like he's giving us exactly what we knew we were getting, but at the same time, like he knows we know that we know he knows we know he know, you know what I'm saying? So like we all know that he's in control, you know, and he doesn't want to be reflected poorly. But it's just interesting that he chose to give back to the consumer. And I do wonder, and we can't know, and you know, I don't want to put any shame on Sarah J. Maas because we don't know, but like I would think she has a little bit more control like than the average author. You would think, like you would think.
You would think a lot of the, I feel like a lot of the times though it comes down to contracts. So if like she signed this contract for X amount of books, I don't know how many years ago, and it didn't specify what she can do for marketing or what she has a say in or what she does or doesn't, that's something that has to go to the negotiation table. It's not even in there. And if they have any power to say no, what is she going to do? Take her contract away? And then she has to pay to break the contract. It's a lot more thing. That's why I was like, I'd love to be a fly on the wall. Like I would love to be a fly on the wall. One of the things, comments that you put up, sorry, Jess, was about international.
Yes, I really wanted to touch on that.
I think that it is crazy that they do, as she did, I think they said, oh, UK is going to have something coming soon or whatever. But like, I feel like in the US, it's very excessive for the US readers. So, and especially if they don't ship to different countries, or they have to pay more than the book to get that shipped. It's just like asking for. And Sarah J. Maas is not only big in the US, she's big across the world. So,
Everywhere.
So yeah, I didn't even really think about that in that terms until I saw that.
Are they doing? Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, I was talking to Isa from Fun Fantasy Books, and I know she lives in Spain. She can't get any of the special editions. Like it's not available to her.
See, and someone like that is probably so frustrated because she sees the US have 5 and she gets none.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm wondering if they're gonna have like 5 different retailers in England do the same thing, or the different, you know, or I'm wondering, are they going to, is she gonna like put all 5 of those stories in the in the UK edition?
She might.
And if she does, maybe I'll just buy that one because I like UK covers better anyway, half the time.
Didn't she eventually release the bonus content on her website? I had a few people leave that comment on the video I posted for A Court of Silver Flames. So maybe she'll just post them eventually.
Yeah, but then what's the point of doing all these
if you want to read them like right away, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
Or you have a book with them in it. I remember it was the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black. Like if you got the bonus content scenes from Barnes and Nobles, those actually those values went up in price because not everybody got those. So they like, what is that, appreciated? So it's like almost like you want the special editions to someday appreciate, but it's never going to happen if she's putting out so many. They're just going to be just
and
another
that's
book.
Exactly what April also said, that like it's not going to hold value.
Right. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading it now. I'm like, yeah, great minds, April.
Well, that's the difference between like a special edition and just bonus content. Like, I don't consider these books that she's releasing special editions in the slightest.
Yeah, I agree. And that kind of is what the problem is too at the same time, like that it's not a special edition, but it's bonus content kind of thing. Are they being priced more or regular?
I think they're all priced the same, but they're all priced more than if you bought them on Amazon.
I'm gonna honestly, I personally am going to pre-order off of Amazon. That's what I usually do, and it usually gets to me like the day of or the day before release. So if I'm gonna be, because here's the thing, I want to read all of them, but I'm probably gonna just wait for them to be released. And I don't want to pick one because like I have decision paralysis like 99% of the time. So I can't do that. So if I get one cheaper where I don't have to make a decision, I'm gonna do that.
Well, I feel like Fourth Wing is a good example of like how to do it correctly, because that was no harm to the reader. It was just if you were one of the first people to order the book, you got the one with the beautiful like sprayed edges. So I feel like that's a great way to motivate people to buy your book right away.
Well, that's the thing. I picked up that book not realizing how big it was going to be.
Same.
So I picked up and I was like, oh, I was in Barnes & Noble. I'm like, that's cool. They have sprayed edges. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, that would be really cool to do. But like having, like maybe offer the Walmart version having sprayed edges. I don't really care. Like, do something of like value to a collector. Like, bonus content is not a collector's thing, considering you can put that digitally online somewhere and have someone else buy it, or have someone else like post it and you can read it there. Like, that's not special anymore to me. It just is just like asking for that kind of behavior. I am someone who I rarely pre-order books, and I go to whatever store is closest to me to pick it up the day of release. That's usually what I do. And if I can't get it in store somewhere, then I'll buy it online. Just because I never pre-order things because I always forget.
I really liked what Fourth Wing did, and it really kind of almost reminded me of like old historical romances where finally publishers are willing to basically give us good quality, like something really extra or quality. Like a lot of first editions for historical romance have like the embossing on the title, for example, and a lot of times like step backs weren't done unless it was in that first year or so. And though Fourth Wing, I think, was that edition more than what the editions are now? No, it was the same price. And that's the thing. I liked that a publisher was willing to give more to the consumer. It's like, here, I appreciate you. You're giving me money. Let me give you something really nice in return. And that's nice, because the thing with the cartoon covers, for example, that's got to be because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to produce a cartoon cover. So they're just trying to expand their profit margin. That's what that is. And so I like to see a company be like, hey, I'm not trying to get every single penny I can grab out of you. You know what I'm saying? And you can see them like, we can get 50 more cents off of this product if we make a cartoon cover. Let's just do that. Who cares if the consumer like likes it or not? You know what I'm saying? So
but that's the thing. Someone was talking about, like in the comments I was just reading as they were going up, like digital signatures, sprayed edges. Like, you could do so many more things rather than just this bonus content if you want so many. Like, if you had Barnes & Noble Books A Million, right? Or Target and Walmart Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. Because I feel like Books A Million, Barnes & Noble are kind of like on the same level. And then like Walmart and Target, they're like, you know, they're like department, not
competitive.
Yeah, they're competitive in that way. Like, do sprayed edges for X amount of, you know, the first edition of it for Walmart and Target, and then do digital signatures for Barnes & Noble and Books A Million. Like, that is so easy. You don't have to add all these different points of views and blah, 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 blah. Like, that is something that as a collector of books, I would buy both of those because I want the digital signature and I want the sprayed edges. I buy two. Right. I pay money for two, especially for something from Sarah J. Maas. So it's one of those things. It's like, who is at this table thinking of how can we make money? How can the retailers make money? But also, how can we make the consumer happy? And I think that's something that's a discussion a lot of people in the traditional publishing don't have very often. And I don't know how much Rebecca Yarros had in the say. Maybe they were like, let's just do sprayed edges. She was like, hell yeah, why not? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think that's a fairly new. It's Red Tower Books, right? Isn't that a fairly new publishing house? So
I think they were just trying to basically get people to buy their books because they were kind of new.
Most brilliant marketing strategy of all time goes to Rebecca Yarros. Like literally, she killed it because no one had even like people have read Rebecca Yarros. I had read Rebecca Yarros and loved her, but I feel like people did not really know of her. She was a known author with some, but not really like a ton. But like people saw Fourth Wing, saw the sprayed edges, and was like, what is this amazing content? Picks it up, and now Rebecca Yarros has become something of a household name now, I would almost say. But I like the idea with what Tori said. It would be nice if they did that, and then you only felt like you needed to get 2 books instead of feeling like you need to get all 5. You know what I mean? So then it's like 1 and 2, and not feeling like I want to collect all of them, even though they're all the exact same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Even if you offer like bonus content of like 3 people or 2 people in the Walmart and Target edition, add the sprayed edges on top, because that extra content is only coming from Sarah J. Maas. The publisher doesn't have to do anything but add 20 more pages. They don't have to add any extra value. They could add sprayed edges, and her publisher has made a lot of money, so it's not like
they can afford that.
Yes, they can add that and still charge the $32.99, whatever it is usually. And then you can have the digital signature plus, I don't know, embossing on the hardcover underneath the dust jacket. Like it's 2 things, and you could put the bonus chapters in each of those, but you don't have to have a million of those, because then those become the, I would say, like not special editions, but like limited editions, where it's first run, you only get it like, I don't think a Fourth Wing is a special edition. I just think it's a limited edition copy because it just has sprayed edges. So there's people throw.
It's more of like a classic first edition, and in that way, it's more like they harken back and thought about how things used to be done, and we're like, let's bring that back, which is always kind of, I feel like that's always a success. I mean, like 70s fashion shows up in the 90s, then shows up in recent years. You know what I'm saying? Same kind of thing.
But I will say it is really cool. I bring up Anna Huang because I just saw her post today with King of Pride. I think that the UK has their UK edition, which is usually a darker, it's a completely different cover with a different color. She has her indie version that she's been publishing at the beginning, you know, and then once Bloom picks it up, it gets a different edition. So it's like she's making things limited, like a limited edition, without asking the consumer to buy it a million times. Do you know what I mean? You can pick which one you like, because usually when the cover is revealed, she reveals all of them. And she's like, you can go pick which cover you like. Here's the different versions. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's something of value for the consumer, as someone who is a consumer of all types of books and collects books, not just whatever book. You know what I mean? It's frustrating that no one had this conversation at the publisher. Like, maybe we should take a step back and see what we can give to the consumer, considering they're the ones that are going to buy all these books from us. Like, what can we give them?
What can they get out of us is what it is.
Besides the one chapter at the end of all 5 of these books. But I think with the Rebecca Yarros, the sprayed edges also represent the first printing. So whoever got the first printing, this is the first printing of all these books, which I think is very cool. So I'm like, I got the first printing.
And that's what I think is like a limited edition. It's like the first printing limited. It's not a special edition. It's not.
Right.
There's nothing special other than the sprayed edges. But honestly, anyone could replicate them if they know how to do sprayed edges. They're not like a complicated sprayed edges thing. But it's a limited edition to show, hey, I got this edition. Let me turn it sideways. Oh, you were one of the first people to buy it. It's kind of one of those things. So,
or collectible too.
Huh? What did you say?
What did you say, Hannah?
Oh, I said, or like collectible too, like how I like to try to collect, or a lot of us like to collect like first edition historical romances. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I was just going to mention Pride and Prejudice, like a first edition of that is insane. So like maybe same concept of like first editions, especially some of Sarah J. Maas's on the secondary market. You buy first edition, those are bananas expensive. So
yeah. But those are, I feel like for that, she didn't like mean to make those covers so scarce. It just kind of like came up that way. She was like, I kind of want to change the covers. And I feel like that's when she was becoming more popular because they wanted to market to different people. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, I'm going to pay X amount of money for these older. Like, as soon as I started reading The Throne of Glass and ACOTAR, I have the old covers of ACOTAR. I didn't even realize there were different ones because that was when they were changing all of them.
Yeah.
So like, for that, I don't fault her because like people do change covers like that. And she didn't mean to make it like a thing of like scarcity. But I feel like this is just kind of one of those things. She's like, I know my people are going to buy all of them. So go ahead, do it. It's kind of one of those things.
I'd be interested. I'm interested to know and see like how long are these chapters? Like how good are they? Because like you said, if you are looking at the different editions of like the different covers, for example, you can pick. And this one, yeah, we know what the chapters are about. Like we know the characters, but we don't know, is this a good chapter or is this shit?
Yeah. Is it 10 pages like, or is it going to be 30?
Because that's what you're spending your $25 on is the last 30 pages. You're not spending it for the book. You're spending it for the last 30 pages, which is sometimes in my mind, it's insane.
Silver Flames, there were only 2, right, bonus chapters, but I feel like one is going to be significant in the next book. Like it showed a lot. I'm talking about Azriel's bonus chapter. While the Rhysand bonus chapter was more just extra content.
Yeah.
So,
like, which one of
these? Do I need to read these?
What?
What'd you say?
Do I need to read these? Oh, sorry.
For Court of Thorns and Roses, you won't understand what they're saying. It's just different characters in the book.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is like which one of these 5 or 6 are actually going to be relevant to the series going forward? Because it's like a mystery. Like which one is she going to put in the book that actually has relevant information that I don't care about a deleted scene. I don't care about that. I need something like an extended epilogue that's going to be of value to the story going forward, not something that we previously saw. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Plus, we know Sarah puts Easter eggs in this stuff.
Yes.
So that's what bugs me a lot too, because I'm like, what Easter eggs am I missing because I didn't end up getting the right bonus chapter? Because you know she does that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Yeah. Red Tower is a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
sorry.
I was just gonna say, I wonder if they're gonna do that for the next book.
They are. They already announced it. Yeah.
I thought it was just
Wait,
black.
are they? I just thought it was black too.
Oh no, it's still sprayed edges though, but it is just black. I think.
It's not stenciled.
Yeah.
I ended up getting the what is it? The Waterstone one with the sprayed edges. Is it Waterstone? Someone help me out. Whatever the UK one was.
Yeah, I think it's Waterstone.
Okay.
But really that one chapter you were talking about, Jess, do I need to read that?
I would.
Okay. Where do I get that?
I think she has it on her website, but it's the Azriel and Elaine bonus chapter in A Court of Silver Flames.
There's an Azriel and Elaine bonus chapter?
Yeah. Yes. Just to let you know, Rebecca Yaros, she's primary in contemporary romance. Like she does a lot of military and it's so good. You guys should totally check it out.
So that's why I was doing our read along that's happening.
Yes, we're reading the Flight and Glory series, and that at the end of August we're reading all 4 books. But if you want to read the 5th, you can.
Yeah.
I don't think I could, like, just on a personal level though, I don't think I can because I was a military wife for 6 years and like with my ex-husband, I'm like, I can't.
They're not all military romances. Like that's what she kind of like backgrounds in, but they're not all military. I think some are just like, I gotta remember, she just really writes really well, like scarred hero and heroines. Like she does that so well.
I'm so behind on comments. I'm just like going through.
You're getting close. I see.
Okay, okay, good.
You know, I was just thinking, JLA hasn't done anything like that, and I think it's because she does indie published stuff.
Yeah,
and I wonder that's why. I wonder why that's why she never signed with the publisher because they were pushing to do that. Because she could easily do the bonus chapters and people would buy that too. Maybe not on the same level as SJM, but it's pretty up there with her fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably the closest in fantasy romance in terms of popularity.
Yeah, I was going to say that and Danielle L. Jensen. Someone mentioned that.
Right. but I think Rebecca is going to be the new heavy hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Calista Broadbent's coming up, and
Carissa
who else?
Broadbent's really making a name for herself right now. Like,
Yeah, and then there's Tori, the paranormal one you did for your book club. I love her. She's great. What was it?
Carissa Broadbent?
No, it was the other one. It was paranormal.
April, I completely agree with you, by the way.
Sanctum.
Oh yes, Hannah something.
Yeah.
Wait, I have the book in front of me.
I know, it's like right over here.
I forgot about that one. That one was a really good one too. I read some.
Hannah McBride.
Yes,
Hannah McBride.
That one's a good one. Yeah. Oh, was it Nesta and Asriel? I thought it was Elaine.
I thought it was Elaine and Asriel.
It's Elaine Rosand and Asriel. There is a Nesta and Asriel one, but I think that was bonus in A Court of Silver Flames, maybe, or the novella.
Yeah, I think that's their content in
Starlight.
A Court of Silver Flames.
Yeah,
Starlight. There we go.
Wait, where is which one was the Elaine and Asriel one in?
That was Silver Flames.
The Starlight. Oh, that was Silver. I thought it was Starlight.
No, wait, Elaine.
Elaine and Asriel was Court of Silver Flames. Nesta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nesta was Starlight, I thought.
Apparently I'm behind on content because there's been a bunch of bonus chapters and a bunch of books.
But see, this is where it gets confusing. If you were not someone who was caught up on the series and you go back, you're like, oh, and you want to read it, and you're like, but where's all these bonus chapters? As a fan, I want to read them. Well, it's like, well, you can't really get them anymore.
And I think the Nesta one was actually referenced in the book because I hadn't read that Nesta bonus chapter, and I was like, I don't know what they're talking about in Silver Flames. I think it happens on a boat or something. And then I had to Google and find out that it was a bonus chapter.
Let's just say, Lady B, that she's got 1 million followers on IG. Like, she's got insane ratings on Goodreads. Like, the problem is like, it just depends where you are with your reading, because if you start with her older stuff definitely starts in YA, where I think she's finally transitioned to adult stuff, where we all started with her YA stuff. But yes. I mean, just depends where you want to start with her.
Or you went for the spice thing?
No, she just said is like Sarah J. Maas worth the hype type comment.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the spice. Because I was going to say the spice, because Lady B also asked about the spice.
Oh, I didn't see
And I would personally say her ACOTAR series, The Spice, is good, really well written. And that in the Crescent City series, The Spice is very poorly written. But that's my own personal opinion.
The way I describe it when people ask me personally, like, which one are they going to do or anything like that, like which one should you start with, right? Like, Throne of Glass is more YA. The Spice is not spicy. It is YA. Right. Fantasy. ACOTAR is more adult fantasy romance, and there's a lot more spice in that. And then Crescent City, I feel like Crescent City 1, there's no spice in that book. There's nothing. It's a more strict fantasy over romance. Book 2, you get a little bit, but it's still more fantasy. Like, I feel like her Crescent City series is strict. She's going in the fantasy with a tad bit more romance. Like, Brandon Sanderson, I can't read his stuff because there's very little romance. That's just me. I just can't do it. But I feel like hers is more tolerable, like her Crescent City stuff. So that start with what you want and then go from there, depending on your spice level. I started with ACOTAR because I'm a romance reader. So I immediately went there because I knew it had the most spice. Then I went to Throne of Glass because I wanted to read it. Sorry, that was my computer that dinged. And then I went Crescent City because obviously I'm reading those as they come out. So that's kind of how I described it. And
I did that exact same order. I started with ACOTAR, went to Throne of Glass, and then to Crescent City.
Yeah, I did ACOTAR, Crescent City, and now I'm working on Throne of Glass. But there's spice in Crescent City and Crescent City 2. Not much. Like, I totally agree. I mean, not much. But the spice that is there itself, I felt like, because I didn't feel personally like in that series that what's it called? Like the buildup, the tension, the steam was to the level it needed to be for the spice to be good. Just personally, and I felt like it was written more crudely. I just like the way the spice was written, the actual scenes themselves, better in the other series. But
it's funny when I started reading Sarah J. Maas, she only had like 4 books out, so I didn't get to I bounced wherever she had a book.
Whatever she
Like,
published, that's what you read.
that's what I read. I wish I would have able to like read the full series as they came out or as they were done. But yeah, I just
I
bounced
can't
wherever she was.
imagine waiting for those Throne of Glass books to release.
Oh my gosh,
I
yeah.
read them in a week, but like I couldn't imagine doing that.
Years. It was years when book 5 came out for Throne of Glass, and then you had to wait years because then she went back to Akatar.
Akatar.
Then
Yeah.
she did book 6, which we know book 6 doesn't cover book 5. Then she went back to, and then she finished 7. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Real quick, Tower of Dawn. Anyone else like so disappointed when they started that and then realized?
No, but don't. With I'm about to read Air of Fire, so
it doesn't pick up where you think it's going to pick up. It picks up.
I tandem read Tower of Dawn with Empire.
How was that? Did you like
that?
that?
I loved it because I would have DNF Tower of Dawn in a heartbeat if I had to sit down and read that straight. So I'm very glad I tandem read it.
So Hannah, do what Tori just mentioned.
Yeah.
So
Tandem read
with the final book. For some reason, I thought it was like
no.
6
it's
and 7.
Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms. I can send you a link, or you could just Google Tower of Dawn tandem read, and there's chapters, and you bounce back between both books. But that was the only way I was able to get through Tower of Dawn.
This is a spoiler. I don't think we're ever going to get this, but I would love it, just personally.
Yeah.
Spoiler for what? Can I look down?
For Akatar, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because there was apparently a scene that was cut that had that.
I haven't read this yet. I read Daughter of No
It was
World.
good. See, I didn't take to that one as well as everybody else did. I read book 2 and it was just like,
I DNF'd
and
the
then
second
book
book.
3, I just DNF'd in book 3.
I DNF'd the second book and I love Daughter of No Worlds. And then I DNF'd the second book. I still want to go back and try, but I think I'm going to do Serpent and the Wings of Night first.
That's a good book. That's a great book.
I like Serpent and the Wings of Night more than Daughter of No Worlds.
Yeah, it's same.
I'm so waiting for the second one to
standalone
come out on audio.
Tori, you're doing the standalone in your book club too, right?
Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, yeah.
Yeah, because
that's just in the same world, right? But it has no crossover?
No, it's like her world. If you looked at a map of her world in the Serpent and the Wings of Night, it's like this. It's huge, right? It's like the Serpent and the Wings of Night takes place over here, and like this one is taking place over here. Like, and you don't even know the timeline. Like, I can't even tell you the timeline if it even coexists at the same time. Like, there's no crossover between them.
Perfect, because I'm going to read it, but I haven't read book 2 yet. But I have some information.
Yeah, Christy asked me the same thing, and I was like, Slaying the Vampire Conqueror is like in the same world, but there's no crossover. It's the same thing for the novella that she has. You can read the novella by itself, and there's no like before you read the first book, and it's fine.
So she just got these picked up by publishers, and these covers are going to be discontinued. So if you guys want to go get them now, you have maybe a month.
I think you guys, Caitlin, the Love Librarian, that posted that, and I immediately bought both of them. I was like,
who was it? It was Jen Magpie, someone on Instagram, like DM me and told me. I need to put that on my Instagram too. So if you guys have not got the hardcovers, I suggest you get them because you don't know what they're being changed into. So
and the naked hardbacks are really pretty, like under.
Oh yeah, I'll take them off. Yeah, so here I'll remember.
So I have the paperback of Serpent and the Wings of Night just because it's cheaper, and I bought that one because I bought it before I read it. And now I'm like, now I need to go buy these freaking hardbacks from Amazon.
This is the, and then
wow,
yeah, they're very.
It's fine.
Yeah,
they're fun.
Very pretty.
And then
I might buy the hardbacks and then give away my paperback.
I was thinking
I would do that, but it was gifted to me, so now I feel bad. I'll just get it signed and be like, okay, I've got an additional.
Oh, right, you have to finish. It gets better. The first and second book are my least favorite in that series. In Throne of Glass.
Yes, but book 3, phenomenal.
Book 3 is amazing.
Enjoy, Hannah.
I'm about to be going on vacation and I'm bringing it with me. I'm going to be reading it just when we go shopping, probably.
Perfect.
That is my favorite book in the Throne of Glass series.
It's tied between Air of Fire and Kingdom of Ash. It's like
I think it's book 5 for me. I think it's the one that I forget which one it is. It's the I can't give it away. No, I can't say anymore.
please
But
don't.
it's book 5. Yeah. I was trying to
Assassin?
think of a way to like say it without giving characters away.
I think I know which one book 5 is. I'm pretty sure.
I'll tell you after of what it's
Perfect.
the side characters that do it for me. We'll see.
I know. I think I know exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think I think that whole series is a little bit more fantasy, similar to like with Crescent City and SJM. So Daughter of No Worlds definitely felt more fantasy with just like a little bit of romance, while Serpent was a little bit more romance heavy, but still wasn't super romantic.
Carrie, do you have the novella in the hardback for Carissa Broadbent?
I don't, because that one didn't get picked up. So it was only those 2 that got picked up and discontinued. Okay. So I didn't get the novella yet because she didn't say anything about the novella, but I might get it just in case. But right now I don't have it.
I didn't know her husband did the art. That's pretty cool.
I'm messaging Caitlin right now about it because she knows everything for Suburban.
Oh, well,
yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I think I've seen the cover. Maybe someone teased something. It was like slightly different. It's very similar to like how Lauren Asher has her indie published and then Bloom. It's very similar, but like, different paper, different. It has the bloom on it, stuff like that.
I just get nervous because I'm like, if they come out and it's not like the originals and the originals are slightly better, I'm just gonna be irritated.
Oh, Caitlin said it's pretty under the novella. So if you get the hardback of the novella, it's also pretty on the hardback. Like,
awesome.
That's what I was.
I don't have that one. I might buy that one too.
I just put them all in my cart to buy. So
just in case, because I know it's like a month from now, or but she stops completely, like get them now type thing.
There's only 10 left of the first book on Amazon.
Huh?
Yeah. People are stopping to start ordering.
I love it because I missed out on the Kimberly Lemming books, and like I adore those, and I literally cannot find them anywhere.
Yeah, I just placed
my. I'm gonna be shocked when this continues, and they're like, "Oh, I thought I had all this time to buy it, and they didn't." And then it's like anything else, I feel like these might go up in value. I'm just saying.
It's the same thing with like Elsie Silver's book, how they're getting picked up and the covers are changing. So she's doing away with the people covers and she's giving people, Sarah Kate did the same thing. They're like giving ample time for you to buy them. So.
Oh, she is getting rid of the people covers of the Off to the Races?
No. I think those are already, she might bring them back, but the one for the Flawless, Heartless, that series.
These guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
She did a good job. I think she did this on her own or something.
Yeah, they're pretty. I love how it turned into just like talking about fantasy covers.
I just ordered the hardback of the novella just in case.
Literally right.
I literally just placed my order. I had a gift card too, so I was like, "Oh, okay, it's not as much as I thought it was going to be."
But it's just one of those moments, like unless we all talk about it and know what's happening, because it's literally sometimes where they just do one little post on their IG accounts, and then you're like, when did this happen? Who,
It is kind of ironic that we're doing this about book marketing and consumerism, and then we all just bought the book.
Well, because I know what I'm getting with those hardbacks. I'm getting a dust jacket that I can change. I'm getting the front of the book, the actual hardback has some type of design on it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like not too much more expensive than the paperback. So I mean, like I feel like that's kind of like going to be a special edition or a limited edition, kind of.
And it has the value. Where adding the bonus.
Correct.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, just make sure you lock it in. You don't want to buy a month from now, be like, hey, and they're gone.
Yeah.
See, like part of me is just like, if I miss out, I'm like, it's okay. I guess it's okay. But then I get pissed, like when I have on my bookshelf, I have one indie published and the rest are traditionally published because I didn't buy them all. I have that for some of Lauren Asher's books. One's indie and then the other ones are traditionally. And I'm like, I mean, I guess it's fine, but like, I'm not going to go out and spend buku's amounts of money.
Also, y'all don't tell anyone because I'm supposed to be in a book buying band.
We didn't see anything.
We saw nothing. But I feel
I didn't just announce Banathon.
Sarah Kate, didn't she change? Because I only have like 3 books with the people on the cover, but she got rid of those, right?
Correct.
So when she comes out with like the highest bidder and then Madame, she'll come out with the people cover so you can buy them, but it's a limited run of that.
Okay.
Yeah, like so you can buy the people to match it.
Okay, so I like that she's releasing both of them. That makes sense.
So Elsie Silver's doing that. So even though she's getting rid of the people cover, when she releases Hopeless, she's coming out with the people cover and the mirror cover, so people can complete their collection.
To this day, I will always regret not getting the L. Kennedy guy covers. Like to this day, like I missed out on those, and I had a shot at them, and I didn't get them.
Yeah, I didn't know that Elise was doing that. That she's not having book 7. I mean, I don't own the whole Bergman Brothers series. I only picked my favorites, which is surprising. But
that's sad. That's just sad.
Yeah, I like the way they all look like together.
But the new covers that she released today are very pretty. So I'm not mad. Like the representation on each book is still really good. There's nothing missing. It's just a different style, and I'm okay with that. Like they're really good.
Did she post them on Instagram? I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, today she shared all of them for the new. It's the publisher's covers, so they're very pretty.
I'll check that out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so funny though. We were talking about Amazon too, and everybody's on Amazon really quick as well.
It's an issue. But okay, but this counts as an exception. Listen, it does.
Totally.
They're about to go out.
They're being discontinued. I get it.
I don't like when they're not the same size. That is my biggest pet peeve. Like Mariana Zapata, I have 2 books that are way taller than the rest of her books that I own. And that drives me crazy.
Yeah, and like I love MZ so much. But my biggest thing for her is her covers. Like I don't love her covers, but I love the content, you know? Like,
didn't she just switch to cartoon covers too? I thought I saw that.
She did actually have it right here, actually. That's too funny.
Carrie has all of the editions. If you need an edition, Carrie has it. See?
I'd like to think
is that Wall of Winnipeg?
Yeah.
This is Wall of Winnipeg.
I don't know how I feel about it.
It had additional bonus content in the back, which was whatever, you know, like Tori was saying this whole time. It was just kind of like, you kind of figured that was them, you know? But like at the end of the day, I was kind of disappointed in the new audio and whatnot. They just veered away from Callie Dalton. She did such a good job with that first
I love
audio.
Callie Dalton. She does. She's one of my favorites.
She is one of my favorites. And I know I was just, who they casted for Aiden, I love him as like an audiobook person. It just didn't correlate. I needed his voice to be deeper, like a deeper, gruffer type of voice. And it almost sounded like too high pitched. I don't know. And he doesn't really have a high pitched voice. It just, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical. I was hoping for like a Joe Arden, maybe. I don't know.
No, I said something similar with the new Jennifer L. Armentrout book. I hate the narrator. I hate him so much. And like, I'm actually, that's a lie. I shouldn't say that. I don't hate him. I don't know what else he's done. It's just how he does that certain character's voice. I am not a fan of.
It's super posh. We were talking about that before. The only other audiobook that I have that visceral negative reaction to has been the Bow Before the Elf Queen series.
Is that by Elise Kova?
Yeah. I don't remember disliking that audio.
No, not Elise Kova, no. It is Jan Carroll.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
thinking about it.
Yeah, me too.
You're
Sorry.
thinking of
Deal with the Elf King.
Deal with the Elf King.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
This is Bow Before
Everybody has the same kind of like title. So I'm like,
oh yeah, the minis. I forgot she did those.
Those are actually really cool. I've never seen anyone else do that. So I'm not gonna lie, like that is pretty cool that she did that.
yeah, I like the minis because it's like literally something a little different, and you have little 7 mini books kind of like on your shelf. It's like eye appealing, not the same cover of 5 different books.
Oh,
Just
I love
saying.
that. I got rid of my FBA paperbacks and will not buy the expensive hardbacks ebooks from now on. I prefer matte paperbacks. I don't like glossy.
I will say I bought the spin-off series for JLA, the Flesh and Fire. Those are in hardback because I get them from Barnes & Noble because I like to go like on release day and buy them because I know they're going to have them. But the original series, I have the matte paperback, and I'm going to continue with that if I can because that's how I differentiate on my shelf.
I agree, Brittany. Why change perfection? Why change something good? Just add somebody with Callie Dalton. Like, who cares? I'll buy it.
I think they're redoing the Fourth Wing audio, aren't they?
So a lot of people said that the female narrator was sick for half of the book when she recorded it because they were trying to probably push it out and they just went with it. And I haven't listened to it, but that's what I heard, and that they're redoing it because the quality wasn't as good.
That's interesting. I didn't think it was bad. Like, yeah, see, like me and Jess, like, we're like, I didn't think anything was wrong with it. I think that's funny.
I'm pretty sure I listened to it on audio, and I
do listen at 2.5 speed, but still, like, I don't
know how much, like, how different it sounded because I wasn't going to buy the Fourth Wing audio because I just read it physically. But yeah, that's what I've heard of people were saying.
I didn't think it was bad though. Like, I thought that one was okay. It wasn't. When you read a book and don't know, I don't want to notice the audio. If I'm noticing the audio, that's a problem. If I don't notice it and read the book, then they did their job.
See?
Yeah.
There are people out there. She was sick for a push. I think they're also re-recording the Serpent and the Wings of Night audio. I heard that somewhere.
Why?
Not sure.
I thought they were good. Like, I thought those.
No, I thought they were good too. Let me double check. But I'm pretty sure.
I mean, unless she's editing, like, if she's getting picked up, they're going to re-edit the book and have to take things out, or she's going to add things. I don't know.
I think there were a few people that commented about the narrator. Because I had a lot of people message me and be like, I DNF because of the narrator. But I wasn't familiar with that narrator, and I thought she did a great job.
Interesting.
I read it physically because the audio wasn't out yet. But I wanted to go back to read the audio. But I'm waiting for the book 2 audio.
Yeah, I think that just got pushed to like October. Which is why I'm pretty sure she's re-releasing the other one, but I'm not positive.
Have you read the second one, Jess?
No, I'm waiting for the audio.
Weird.
Same.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Coming out this month.
I mean, audios can make or break sometimes, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't either.
I 100% agree, Lexi.
Because honestly, like, if I would have read the Mariana Zapata with this audio, I would have given it 4 stars.
Well, I don't know if I've read The Wall of Winnipeg in May, but I have the new audio on Libro FM because I download it from the ALC. So I'm like, should I just physically read it and not listen to the audio?
I think you should read the Callie Dalton audio. I know it's only one narrator, but she does Aiden really well.
Have I read this? I don't remember. Let me look up. I have not.
That's one of my favorites from her.
It is one of my favorites from her. To this day, I will recommend her
All
audio
Roads is like my top, but that's like a really close second.
See, that will always be my top, and my second constantly changes.
I have never read anything by Mariana Zapata.
Pick up a book, girl. Pick up any one of her
slow burn, but so good. But so
yeah, but you know, I don't read contemporary really. I do like a few a year. Like I read some Devney Perry because it's got some suspense, and then I do like Tessa Bailey and.
Try Luke Off with Love. That's one of my favorites.
A good start too.
Is that the ice? That's the ice one. Like that's the only one that has ever really tempted me.
Well, yeah, I think Cutting Edge. The movie.
Yeah.
All right, I finally caught up on comments.
There was a lot.
Maybe not. I can't with contemporary. And
I have to be in the mood for Mary Potter.
Just think, like, if you're going in for like any sort of spice elements, those things are happening at the 98% mark.
Yeah, like at the last chapter, they're so slow. But the build-up is worth it. Like,
oh yeah, build-up is totally. You get the payoff in the end.
Yeah. Culty's another good one. I also really like that.
Culty was great. I still like Luna and the Lie, though.
I don't know if I read that one. I don't think I read that one.
Oh my gosh, that's a good. You'll like it, Jess.
What's the one with the Under Lock is the other one I read. I
like that one. I remember, like, I read it years ago, though, so I haven't.
And the Lie, there you go.
I think that was like the first motorcycle romance that I read. I'm pretty sure it's MC.
Yeah, it is.
It's like the main hero is always like, oh, I can't say it. It's cussing, but like, yeah. He always says something to the heroine. It's hilarious.
It was halfway through. It was torture. They're slow, and similar. I have to be in the mood for them as well.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling it's just not going to be my thing. If I'm going to read a 600-page book, usually it's going to be a fantasy. I don't know.
I started Manacled not last night, the night before, and that's like over 1,000 pages. So, I mean, like, I'm in for a wild ride. It's fine.
I'm so, like, I've been putting that off.
I have to. But then I was like, I need a really good book, and everyone, like, Jess, you loved it. McKay loves it. There's so many people that loved it. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to read it. It's fine.
Wait, what book are we talking about?
Manacled.
Oh, yeah, so good.
I know I'm going to love it. I like.
Yeah, I
like
need to read that one too.
I like fantasy romance. I like Harry Potter, though.
Melody knows.
Yeah.
So good.
I read for 2 hours, and I only got 5% of the way through that book.
Wow. Yeah. And you read fast, Tori. I'm scared. How big is that book?
A big Harry Potter fan? Like, did you watch it growing up?
I mean, I watched the movies, but I'm not like, oh my God, diehard fan type of thing. Like, I kind of know the general.
As long as you watch the movies, you should be fine. Because, like, I do have a friend that tried reading it and hasn't read the books or watched the movies, and she was confused. So I think as long as you have the movies.
I mean, I don't know, like, Umbridge. I don't know who that is in the movies, but, like, they're not.
Isn't she like the head lady or whatever?
No, she worked for the ministry, and then she came in to teach at Hogwarts because. But yeah, I've read each book many times. I was like a midnight.
So you'll love it.
I went there at midnight for every release as like a kid, and then I've seen each movie probably at least 10 times. But I don't own any because I lost the ones I originally had, and I won't buy any now because I don't support the author. So yeah.
I don't know this question.
I was gonna say I don't know the answer to that.
What do you mean when they've been picked up?
Like from like indie to actual traditional.
That would depend.
Publishing?
That depends.
Yeah, if your traditional publishers let you do that.
I think that if you think about it, if a book gets taken off of KU and you already have it downloaded on your Kindle, it stays on there until you.
Right. Yeah. As long as you don't offload it.
Yeah. So theoretically, yes, it'll stay on there if it gets picked up.
But you'd have to have it.
You'd have to download it before it gets picked up.
But I've seen traditional publishers on KU, so I mean.
Yeah, a lot of like the Bloom books that get picked up, like Sophie Lark's, they'll stay on Kindle Unlimited for a really long time. Like they're not going to take it.
Right. But like Kimberly Lemmings, you can't get except for.
Yeah.
I think that the novella is staying indie though.
Mm-hmm. I thought I could finish Manacled by the end of July, which is in 4 days. Yeah, that's not happening. I used to read so much fanfic because I was in college and I could not afford to buy books or purchase books online, like through Kindle or iBooks or whatever it was. So I would only read fanfic on AO3 and stuff like that. And I haven't read fanfic for 10 to 12 years now. And now I'm excited to finally dive back in.
Sorry, I think you could probably finish it. Are you listening to the audio or?
No, I'm physically reading it.
Because I read it in a week, exactly 7 days, and you read twice my speed. So I feel like you should be able to do it.
But I want to take my time. It's very heavy from the very beginning. There's a lot of stuff, so I'm slowing down how I'm physically reading it. I might, to speed it up, I might listen while I read, because that helps me get through books quicker, like doing the audio and the ebook.
And you
The
retain them
second-
really well when you do the with the audio with the physically reading
A lot
it.
of fantasy romance now I can only physically read if I have the audiobook. The Slaying the Vampire Conqueror was the first one I read in a really long time. Fantasy, that's a thick fantasy like that I hadn't listened to the audiobook because there's no audio for it.
That is fanfic of what?
What is fanfic?
The Slaying the Vampire?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Fantasy, sorry. No, sorry, I was talking too fast.
I'm nervous though, because if you're only at 5% after reading for 2 hours, could you imagine where I'm going to be after 2 hours?
But if you listen to
1%.
audio and you do a lot of audio, you could probably get through it a lot quicker. Like I'm only reading it before I go to sleep at night, so I only have X amount of time to physically read it. So
Gotcha.
yeah, that's how I'm trying to keep it.
And the audio is pretty good because it was done by Audiobook Warriors, but just know that for anyone who's thinking about reading it, it's different narrators. It's not the same one for the entire book because that was very jarring when I was listening.
Oh,
I got used to like the one narrator's voice, and then the next chapter, different gender, although the character didn't switch, and like completely different take on the character.
That one, I would definitely do a retake of that whole book.
I have to figure out how to get it downloaded in a better format because I did do it where I got it from AO3. It's on my Kindle, but it's like a format like it's a Microsoft Word document.
I'll send you directions.
Yeah, I want it formatted like it looks like a Kindle book where I don't like the look.
I have like a legit like direction step by step how to do it for your Kindle, so I'll send that.
Wait, are you talking about how it's only like single spaced?
Hold on, let me show you right now.
Because I did through AO3. I mean, maybe I'm not paying attention. Like on my Kindle, it looks the same as my phone.
Wait.
Oh,
yeah,
it looks like this.
Sorry, let me turn this lamp off.
I can see it.
Why is it
there?
That's what mine looks like.
Okay, that's kind of the.
Oh yeah, that's how it looks on my Kindle.
Yeah.
I want it to look like a Kindle book. I don't want to have to zoom to read it. You
just make the font bigger.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Oh, someone said if you download it as an EPUB file. I probably downloaded it as an EPUB.
That's how you do it. That's the directions I have is to download it as an EPUB, open it up in your, like you send it to your Kindle email and then open it up. Yeah, but did you have it as an EPUB?
Or a Word document?
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably why.
I don't know.
We got you. We'll figure it out. I'll help you.
Just send it to me.
Oh, I didn't finish reading that. I would love. Those were really fun. I only went to 2 of them, but like I have those memories.
Oh yeah. I don't remember how many I went to, but it was at least 2.
I did Manacle too, if it helps anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the different narrators. I just couldn't bring myself to read it physically because it is massive.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, I gotta go. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's totally good.
Okay, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for having me.
Bye, Carrie.
Bye.
Bye.
And actually, we got like completely off topic anyway. So, and it's really hot in my house, so we can end this. But any other?
I want to do this for an hour.
Yeah. Any other like last minute comments you guys want to make or? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody who came and chatted with us. So, thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.